We have some really interesting stories for you on this VA News. First up, Secretary McDonald hit the ground running in Phoenix and Las Vegas.
The City of Brotherly Love embraced the athletes of the 34th Annual National Veterans Wheelchair Games.
And a nutritionist at the Miami VA Medical Center shows the value and convenience of telehealth.
Hello, I'm Jim Benson. I retired from VA not too long ago, but glad to be able to come back now and then to be with my VA family.
And I'm Samantha Riho with the Veterans Benefits Administration.
This is VA News.
VA Secretary Bob McDonald is on the fast track to visit VA employees and veterans around the country. In the past few weeks, the Secretary has been to the Medical Center, a vet center, and the National Cemetery in Memphis. He also spoke at the AMVETS National Convention there. In addition, he spoke at the Blinded Veterans Association Convention in Reno, the Reno VA Regional Office, and at the Palo Alto VA Medical Center's Polytrauma Center. We have a video from Ray Liao, the Secretary's first trip.
Just yesterday, I was in Phoenix at the VA Medical Center, my first stop as the new secretary. Over these next several months, I'm going to keep traveling extensively to hear directly from employees, from veterans, and from other stakeholders. Here's what I learned in Phoenix. I talked to Bob. Bob's a peer counselor. This is what Bob told me. This place saved my life. It gave me counseling when I needed it. It gave me a hip replacement, and now I'm an employee. And the Phoenix story is about more than just a crisis in veteran access. To be sure, it's a story of failed leadership, but it's also a story of some dedicated people who have had the moral courage to stand up and help serve us veterans better. But where that's not the case, where there's been a violation of trust of the nation or of veterans, there will be accountability. Listen, coming face to face with reality isn't a disaster. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear when we're not serving you well. This, for me, is not a disaster, it's an opportunity. VA has a good strategic plan. I believe in it. We just have to make sure that every day we are working together to execute that strategic plan and accomplish our goals. VA has strong institutional values: integrity, commitment, advocacy, respect, and excellence. Taken together, that's an acronym, I CARE. If we live by those values, if we live by this mission, we can't go wrong. To me, there is no higher calling. At VA, we have the best purpose in the world, and that's to serve veterans.
The City of Brotherly Love and Rocky Balboa, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, opened its arms wide to embrace more than 500 brave and very excited athletes for the 34th National Veterans Wheelchair Games. It's the biggest event of its kind anywhere, the oldest of VA's renowned special events and athletic games, and just a really good time for everyone involved. Here's Melody Mercer with the last of 5 stories she anchored at the games in her hometown.
From softball to swimming, this weekend was action-packed till the closing ceremony.
You never met a Willie strong as mine. Don't expect me to fall. I'm here to win it all. I've already shown my scars. Now it's time you see my heart and my pride, which still stands tall.
Well,
we are warriors still. Heroes making history. Proof of my There's a restlessness I feel calling me to play. I'm raising up my eyes to the obstacles I face. Don't mind the glare of the spotlight.
Goodbye from Philadelphia, from the 34th Veterans Wheelchair Games.
We hope that these veterans have touched your lives the way that they've touched ours. Take care, everybody.
Ride with me, but hold on tight. Gonna be the time of your life. Don't close your eyes.
Few VA facilities manage a better welcome home for the troops and the staff at Chalmers P. Wiley Ambulatory Care Center in Columbus, Ohio. With a lot of help from the Columbus Zoo, the VA facility staff supported a full day of activity and support for about 5,000 veterans and their family members. Here's a report of the latest Welcome Home event at the zoo.
The Columbus VA hosted their 5th annual Welcome Home event at the Columbus Zoo this month, where veterans and their families enjoyed a picturesque day at the zoo.
Whose broad stripes and
Welcome Home events are held at VAs around the country. They were originally started to welcome home those veterans returning from Afghanistan and Iraq, but the event has evolved and now extends to veterans of all eras. OIF Program Coordinator Teresa McCarty.
This was originally set up for the veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan, but the Columbus VA has felt that we should celebrate all veterans and their families, so we've really formed a good partnership with the Columbus Zoo, and we've had this for 5 years.
Annually, Columbus VA holds one of the largest Welcome Home events in the country. So with some help from the beautiful weather and the zoo's new Heart of Africa area, 5,817 veterans and their family members came through the zoo's entrance. The highlight of the day-long event was providing an opportunity for veterans to interact with representatives of various VA services and numerous veteran organizations and companies that are looking to hire veterans.
Take a load off Fannie, take a load for free.
Lunch and entertainment was provided for veterans and their families. This event is only made possible through the generous donations of individuals and organizations in the community.
With veterans and their families. So on behalf of the
Columbus VA Director Keith Sullivan had the opportunity to speak with many of the veterans in attendance and talk about both the event and their health care received at the Columbus VA.
I think the ultimate goal is to have a great time. People really get to come and enjoy their families, a free day at the zoo, and get some information, education while they're here.
Ed Sachs reporting from Columbus, Ohio.
Healthcare workers that treat our veterans come from a diverse background. One clinical dietitian from the Miami VA became interested in her career field by working on a farm as a young girl.
Now she uses the convenience of telehealth to help veterans stay healthy. Adam Poitras and Larry Gilstad sent us this story from Miami.
So what's another starchy vegetable?
Yucca.
Doctores.
Cassava. Cassava. What about yucca?
That is cassava.
Oh, that is cassava.
I'm a clinical dietitian for the outpatient clinics, and I do multiple group classes and individual appointments.
And what is the other one?
We have this clinic in Homestead every Wednesday from 10:30 to 11:30. The class is actually being held in Miami, and I'm here. The veterans are saving travel time, and I'm saving travel time.
How about black eyed peas?
Black eyed peas, wonderful for you. Definitely.
You know, you're really in the 21st century. You know, you're talking to a person down the, you know, in a whole nother locale. And oh man, I couldn't ask for better. Who could ask for better?
Because the sugars in the center are slowly released into the bloodstream and not so rapidly. Believe it or not, I was born and raised on a dairy farm, and We were constantly playing with our cattle's feed to improve their milk production. So monthly we would have their milk tested, and whatever they were short on, we would supplement with different vitamins and minerals. So that ultimately is what got me started in the nutrition field.
Potato, the white potato. What about carrots?
Pasta?
No.
Pasta?
No carrots?
A lot of them don't have the family support, husband or wives or the children support. So by them coming to our weekly classes, it provides them with the support of the other individuals in the class and myself. But mainly, if I was going to give my time to anybody, I wanted to give it to the individuals who gave me my freedom.
She makes it palpable. I could swallow it a whole lot easier. You know, the information that she gives it in simple terms.
It is an awesome way to communicate and get your answers and be comfortable with it at the same time, you know? Because, you know, especially our veterans, our comfort level is important to us, you know? And for me, you know, she made me feel like somebody. She makes you feel like somebody, too. I think that's what it is, you know?
I get so much fulfillment from seeing them succeed and learn. And each week, from class to class. Thanks for coming today, guys. I appreciate it. They remember what I tell them because they'll bring it up the weeks later. And I think they're not listening, and they are. They're listening. And that's a gift in itself.
Did you know? 20 years ago in 1994, VA Center for Minority Veterans and the Center of Women Veterans were established. Public Law 103-446 gave the Secretary of Veterans Affairs the authority to establish the two centers to advise the Secretary on the adoption and implementation of policies and programs affecting minority veterans.
The reason that it was established was that there were a lot of minority veterans at that time that felt that they didn't have a voice and that they were not well educated on how to maneuver the VA system and to utilize their benefits. Prior to that law being established, there was a one-person shop, which was, that person was like the Minority Affairs Officer, and Congress agreed with the minority veterans at that time that there needed to be a center so that they could have a broader grasp in identifying gaps in services for minority veterans.
The Center for Minority Veterans will hold the National 20th Anniversary Celebration during the week of September 22nd. The theme for the celebration is Making a Difference, serving all minority veterans who served our nation. Throughout the week, VA will host a series of events to honor the resilience and sacrifices endured by various minority service members and to celebrate their success in the private and public sectors of society.
That's our show for this week. I'm Jim Benson. I'm so glad I could come in for a visit with good friends here and deliver VA news to you again.
And I'm Samantha Rijo. Happy to be here to share a few moments with Jim and with you. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and rest of your week.